Hi, it's Toni here from Life, Love and Lettuce. So the garden's looking really pretty at the moment. It's another sort of overcast early Sunday morning in November, mid-November, and I'm in the hoop house and we've got lots of things growing here. I've got a tomato that's nearly as tall as me doing its thing already, which is amazing. And I just thought I'd take you through a little tour of the garden. It's a constant changing place at the moment, and there are so many amazing flowers and things to see. So let's just go and have a little walk around and see what I'm doing and see how things are changing. The sun's just come out, which is really fantastic, but we've got some lovely seedlings coming along here. I just planted some more basil seeds there last night, and you can see I've got a good dose of them at the back there ready to be pricked out, and my herbs are coming along nicely. And here are some of the basil that I've pricked out already, and I've got some more flowers at the back there ready to go. And I've been growing cuttings of hibiscus which have rooted in water and are doing really well, and I've got some mint across the back there too. Then we've got our usual array of brassicas that are still popping through here, and we've got some peppers that have overwintered that are doing all right, just coming through with flowers and things again, and more brassicas down there, a few little bits and pieces. I'm clearing the beds ready for more tomatoes and more basil and peppers to go in, which I'm quite excited about. And our lovely friend Melissa is doing really well down here. And we've got some lettuce just in the back under that sprouting broccoli there. And here's this lovely tomato that is a volunteer. So if they volunteer, I let them stay, because I figure that nature knows better than me where things should be living. Had a load of pea straw delivered, so it's slowly coming in to mulch the beds in here. And just the end of the winter brassicas here, and some lovely little violas across the back that are going nicely into salads. And down here is some upland cress, which is still nice in salads. And you will see we've got a little possibly a courgette, I think, and then a pepper, and then a nice little cucumber that's coming along there, and there's another pepper at the back, just a few bits and pieces, some chives. So we shall head out into the chickens' playground. The tea camellias are coming on really well. I've actually had to pin them down at the base because the chickens have just been pulling them up, but they've got lovely new shoots on them. And these are the shoots that are picked and traditionally made into tea. So at the moment they're so little, I'm not going to be doing that, but it's lovely to see them coming along, and they're coming along all in the front of the garden too. This is our, what is it? My brain's gone to mush. I just can't remember. But it's full of bees, you can see. And the girls love hiding underneath it. And I will immediately remember what it is as soon as I walk away. But I'll put it up on the screen anyway. So there we are. Very pretty. Chooks under here digging holes. Look what they do. I spend my day going around and raking up behind them. This used to be a beautiful lush patch of comfrey, and they've eaten it. But comfrey's wonderful. It'll come back, and here they are. There's 3 or 4 of you under here at the moment, girls. Only 3 of you, so somebody must be out laying an egg. Anyway, we didn't come here to talk to you. We came here to look at the beautiful blossoms. The apple tree's filled out, which the girls love, and they will spend a lot of their summer under here. You might recall that this was just a mass of mud, and it's come back almost like a herbal ley, full of wonderful stuff. I just kept throwing dandelion seeds down here because I just want dandelions to grow. And they're growing really well, and the grass has come back and the girls are eating the grass, but the apple tree is leafing out and looking beautiful, and I love the shot down the garden from here when things are starting to leaf out. And you can see that the space has just taken up so much more. This is full of potatoes, the whole bed. I just put potatoes in and put pea straw on top, so we'll just be interesting to see how it goes. Feijoa is just coming along beautifully. Aha! This, it's a yellow guava. I knew I'd remember eventually. A yellow guava, and behind it is a very sad looking currant, but I seem to have some sprouting, so I might have to move that. We'll see how we go there. But yes, the yellow guava is well and truly in flower, and the chookies do love it. So, the feijoa in flower is wonderful. And this was a potato bed at the back here, and it is now what I call an Aztec bed, aside from the strawberries in the front. But it has beans and sweet corn and pumpkin, so it's basically the three sisters. And we'll see how that goes, because I've never been brilliant at growing sweet corn, and some of those that possibly look like skinny sweet corn are wheat coming up again out of the mulch that I've put down from the chicken pen, but that's okay. I just pull those out, and the girls like eating the wheat greens, so there's no big deal. And somewhere in the back, in that tangle of nasturtium, there should be some marshmallow coming up, but I haven't seen any sign of it yet. But it's been cold and it's quite damp back there, so it could just be taking its own merry time to come up. We shall see. And the girls can no longer get at their favourite fennel plant, so I'm having to pull pieces off to give to them, but that's all good. And down here, the herb bed is coming to life. I've trimmed up the pineapple so I don't take my eye out every time I'm in there. And there's a little sunflower down there. Oh yes, I've got a big row of sunflowers all in front there that I'm really thrilled to see, and I'm not asking the universe to change things, but I'm really thrilled to see that they haven't been taken out by snails, which are always one of my big problems. And so I'm hoping that that might just be that the girls have been around and there's not as many snail eggs and bits and pieces around, but we shall see. So the herb bed in here is coming along nicely. You might be asking, why have I got clover growing down here? But it's black shamrock, and clover's always nitrogen fixing, so nice to have in around fruit trees. And this is a peach that I grew from a stone, a golden queen, so I'm very happy to just see that coming along nicely. And we've got evening primrose here on its second year, so I'm eagerly awaiting the blooms from the evening primrose, which will be lovely. So this is just, filling out and looking pretty, and I'm really enjoying it. And the pear tree has just leafed out, and it's very welcome shade for the chickens when the sun starts coming through, which is why it was put there. But the jungle at the back was the reason for getting the camera out, because I will be working to clear this bed here now so that I can put pea straw through it and plant it. So we're going to lose a lot of these beautiful nasturtiums, but they've been really good feed for the bees early on. You can see a few of them drooping already because I had a crack at the bed next to it. And you'll see that the peaches are starting to come now. The beautiful peach blossom that we looked at a few months ago, and all the peaches are coming now. The banging in the background is my dearly beloved putting wires along the fence for the boysenberry that is running rampant along the fence on the southern side of the house. It's full to bursting of boysenberries, so I'll go and show you some of that. So a few things here have been going to seed. We've got a constant supply of onions that come out of here, which are great. We just pop out and grab some when we need them. And what I'm loving here too, the shoddy fence to keep the chickens out, but we do with what we can at the moment. This lavender I'm quite excited about. I love what I call proper lavender, and I grew this from a seed, so I feel rather attached to it, and I'm really pleased to see that it's doing well. Here come some friendly faces just to check out what we're doing. And you can see already, we've had a few days of not constant rain, and already the paths are looking dry, mainly because the girls keep digging them up. Anyway, so the nasturtiums here will be going. The asparagus is busy going to seed, or making huge, big, beautiful, feathery leaves. I love the little seed pods that it makes flowers and seeds through here. And this is what I will be doing to the bed that we've just looked at. So just clearing it and filling it with pea straw. And I'm going to plant these beds in potatoes again, because potatoes have been doing very well in here, because these get a lot of shade once these trees really start to come into leaf. There's a lot of shade that happens in these gardens. Here's another lovely set of peaches coming along. You see the ants farming their aphids frantically everywhere. We have big ant problems here, but I try and manage them to some degree and keep them out of places that I don't want them, but they do till the soil for me. And they do apparently keep the fleas down, because they eat flea eggs, and I wasn't aware of that till my son pointed it out. Anyway, so pea straw down here. We've got some strawberries that we might get some strawberries out of now that the girls can't get to all the flowers, because they love eating the flowers. We've got ginger growing in the corner here by the compost bin. And more nasturtiums, so these ones have survived the nasturtium cull. That's fine. And even, I mean, the bees are even coming for those that I've thrown in the compost heap here. Look at that. She's just still busy collecting the way in the compost heap. I just love that. And I've been collecting these as I've been finding them too, the seeds. So I'm going to, apparently you can pickle them and they're like capers, so I'm going to be doing some of those and we'll see what they're like. And what you're hearing down here is the bees who are busy doing their thing. They are enjoying the fact that there's so much around for them. And today's job is to sort the banana patch, which has been half culled because it's pushing the fence down, unfortunately. So there's very old banana in there that needs to come down. And I will take you across the garden and try not to get you sick. We're going to go through the bees' flight path, which is not too bad. We've got some lovely comfrey growing here. And the girls haven't managed to get to the to the flower heads here. They love these flower heads. And I mean, the bees love them too, but I just think they're so pretty. They're absolutely pretty. The ants love them too. There you go, ants in here. So the orange tree did not recover, but that is fine. That is all very good. And we've got a volunteer down here. I'm sort of 90% certain that this is Lovage doing her thing. Here we go. This is Lovage doing her thing, a little volunteer, but I'll have to check and see. And then we've got another lovely feijoa over here. These blossoms, to me, they're just Christmas. And they're just beautiful. And I brought you here because here's the banana that came in the middle of frost, and despite everything has just hung in there. So, and when we harvest that banana, and her flowers down here, really pretty too, once we harvest that, then the whole palm, which is one of the ones responsible for shoving the fence over, will die and will go like this one here, and will then need to be taken out. And basically, if you leave them, they just kind of wither back into themselves. Got a bit of a grapevine going here. So we had a nasty helicopter going over. So that's gone and done its thing. So we've got a grapevine growing here that grew from a cutting from one of the two that are over the other side of the house. So I thought I'd plant it here to cover the water tank. And she's coming along nicely. And underneath, just behind the hives, is a nice raspberry cane coming along. And this is a nice orange one. It's really thorny, but the fruit are beautiful. And the rope here is holding the banana up, so I'll be very pleased to get rid of that because it makes working my beehives difficult. But you can see the criminal activity over here from the chickens. We're finding fascinating things down there. Oh, and it appears the helicopter is circling, so there must be an issue on the local motorway if it's up here. so it's going to get noisy. So anyway, here's the view across the back of the garden, and I might just leave you again for a moment. So that's the view across the back of the garden. The girls again. Yes, don't like the helicopter, but not moving on terribly quickly. And I'll just take you up this side of the... Oh, I think there might be somebody in here. Looky here. We have a little chickie who's laying an egg. What are you up to, Chuckle? Good girl. You can move along. Come on. Off you go. Come on. Go on. Off you go. Back up the other end of the garden. Go on. So we've got some nice herbs that are coming along here. This is the wart family. I can't quite remember which wart. I think it might be wound wart. I do have a label down here somewhere, and I keep swearing I'm going to remember and then I forget. And yes, my memory did not fail me. It is wound wart. And just a few little bits and pieces growing here. And the circling helicopter is rather annoying. A little bit of thyme on the corner there. So I think at about this point, because it doesn't look like this is going to cease, I'm going to leave you. But it's really nice for me just to have these pictures of the garden, because, as I say, it is just changing so very, very rapidly. And I love seeing the changes. I love watching the flowers. I leave some of these to go to seed because they just attract beneficial insects to the garden. And then, you know, we've got these lovely old favourites here, these yarrow flowers are just beautiful. And these lovely, lovely yellow calendula down here. So the garden is much loved and much enjoyed. That's a grapefruit down the back there that's just got some baby fruit on it again, I can see. And there you are. The garden as it is mid-November. And we will see you again very soon. And it just wouldn't be a garden tour without Pirate, would it? Here he goes. We'll follow him in. Where are you off to, big guy? So this is the berry taking over the back fence. So we're on the southern side of the house, so it doesn't get a lot of sun, but it gets a little bit. And we get the benefit of the neighbour's fig tree, which I love, over here. And then this runs all the way down the fence down here, right out through the gate, and we'll pop through the gate and have a look. And here we've got some beautiful berries coming along. So we're hopeful that we might have a better chance at these than the birds. This used to just be raspberry canes, and you can see some of the raspberry canes coming through at the bottom. But the boysenberry has decided that it wants to live out here as well. So who's to argue with nature when nature is in control? That wouldn't be me.